So children, let's begin. All right, the time now is 7:30. Let's not wait already. Okay. Okay, so last week, right? Last week we talked a little bit about something called conversion. Right, I told you about the fraction, ratio, decimal, and percentage. They are all interlinked. So once you get to know the linkage within them, right, you'll be able to what? You'll be able to do the, the conversion, and you'll be able to exchange, for example, the percentage to a fraction. You'll be able to exchange the fraction to a ratio. All right, so it just changes everything. All right, so that you'll be able to be more convenient in terms of answering the question. All right, so we talked about conversion, which is very important, and we also did some algebra. All right, so there was one question, question 5. All right, it's like a review question. I told you there's no homework. All right, I know there isn't any homework. Right, but this was the review question from last week. Right, so last week we did a bit of what is that called? The conversion, and also a bit of algebra. So let's take a look at this question first. All right. So when we talk about algebra, right? Remember not? All right, algebra, the L. All right, we are actually using alphabet, right, to represent what? Secret numbers. All right. Then I told you about the alphanumeric thing. Remember not? Yeah, I don't know whether you all check with your daddy and mommy or not. That last time they have pager and all this. So those were the time. Actually, it would be quite scary you think about it. Last time it's like my time was about, let's say, 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I have something called a pager. 20 years later, which is now, there's something called a smartphone. How about 20 years later? So 20 years later, I'll be around 60 plus years old. I don't know what will the world becomes. Right? Maybe there will be this I don't know, everything will be virtual reality. Right? So maybe you just move your fingers, all right, then the screen will actually appears in front of you, and this screen is, imaginative one. Right? So you are able to pull up, scroll up and down, right, in the mid-air, something like that. Wow, that would be so super cool, right? Yeah. Then imagine that there will not be any handphone, right? All you got to do is to just tell yourself, okay, Dao Xuan, wow. Then immediately, right, the brain, right, will be able to telephone Xuan. Hey, Xuan, how are you today? Wow, imagine that. That'll be quite scary, right? Imagine that there's no handphone anymore. Everything is, in the air one, right? Because now they are doing something called, putting all the storage, the memory, all in the clouds, right? So all these are actually very much possible one, right? So technology is scary. So I don't dare to go imagine 20 years later, right? What will happen there? Yeah, so I don't know, right? Anyway, so number 5, in a relay. Relay is like a those run, all right, whereby you pass the baton. So you run to the person, you pass the baton, the person continue to run, and the second person will pass to the third person, the third person will pass to the fourth person. All right. So in a relay, right, there are 3 person here. We have Stanley, Tim, and Jonas. They run this amount of kilometer, that amount of kilometer, and also 7G plus 1 kilometer. What is the total? So down here, the keyword here is total. Total means what? Obviously, you have to plus lah. All right. So if you can, right, always write out the what? Write out the working first. Right. So this is by Stanley, this is by Tim, and this is by Jonas. And what does the question wants? The question wants the total, right? So everything must plus. Matthias, oh yeah, you see, I blur it. You see? Can you see not? Oh my goodness, I write the word Jonas instead of the 7G plus 1. Can you see not? Ah yeah, so sorry. Right. So that's what I'm talking about. Right. I'm not at my 100%. So sometimes I just yeah, so sorry about that. Okay, wait, there's another student coming in. Matthias, your answer is 8G plus 4. Something wrong, Something wrong. All right, wait, Hey, hello, hello, Shinik. Hello, Celestia. Celeste and Shinik. Hey, hi. Welcome for lesson today. Hey, just now I was telling the class that today, right, and next week, right, there will still be lesson. All right, today and next week there will still be lesson. All right, after next week, right, there will be a Christmas break and a New Year break. All right, so next week will be our last lesson in 2023. Then I will see you guys again in 2024 January. All right, so next week still got one more lesson, Can? Yeah, then I was also telling Celeste and Shinik, I was also telling the rest that I'm a little bit down today, right? I'm having a fever and also a bit of the respiratory problem in terms of the sore throat, in terms of the coughing and all this. All right. So if you so today's lesson will be a little bit how to say, usually you all know me lah, all right? I can be quite funny, I can be quite jumpy, I can be quite excited one. Right, but today the strength is not that much, so I want to apologize to you guys first. Right, so today will be a little bit serious. Right, serious is not because I'm serious. Serious is because of all this medication that is making me a little bit drowsy and all this. All right, I hope you all can understand. Can? All right, so I was telling the class that last week we were doing this question. All right, on algebra, we were doing some conversion of fraction, ratio, percentage, and decimal. All right, then we go into something called algebra. All right, so this question is talking about something called total. Total means we have to add all the three expressions together. So we have Stanley, we have Jonas, we have Tim, then we have Jonas. Can you see that? And the meaning of total means you have to plus. Right, so you write out this statement first. Right, this statement I think is important. Okay. Then remember what I told you about this algebra? Everybody will have a friend, right? Everybody will have a friend. So the 4G, right? The 4G, the friend is actually in front. All right. Never right means there's a plus in front. All right. The 5G is actually the red color plus. The 7G is actually the red color plus. That's the friend. All right. Then this plus 5, right? This minus 2, and this plus 1, they are all related. So I will always try to what? I will try to put all the G, which is the gorilla family, side by side. So 4G plus 5 gorilla plus 7 gorilla. All right, this is the G family, followed by the number family, which is a plus 5, minus 2, plus 1. Okay, come. Let's go into the gorilla family first. Matthias, I saw your answer is correct. Good job. Good job. Okay, so 4 gorilla plus 5 gorilla is 9 gorilla. 9 gorilla plus 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sorry, Matthias is 16 gorilla. Right, sorry. I thought I saw your answer. Right, you wrote 18G, right? Yeah, it's incorrect, but I see that it's correct. Can you see or not? I'm just not 100% today. Right, so Matthias, your answer is supposed to be 16G, not 18G. Please be careful. All right. So sorry that I said that is correct. Right, so 4 gorilla plus 5 gorilla is 9 gorilla. 9 gorilla plus 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, it's 16G. Can? All right, and a number family. All right, I started off with $5. Then I lost $2 minus 2. That's 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So this is the answer, children. Can? So usually I'll put a bracket. Right? Because this whole thing, right, are all in kilometer. So this is my way of expressing the answer. Is that okay? All right, so we did something like that last week, all right, and 2 weeks ago. All right, so just want to do a quick recap about this algebra question. So again, right, when you start school next year, right, the first topic that your school teacher do, right, may not be algebra. All right, algebra is actually a very small topic. In terms of the PSLE, it's only maximum about 3 marks only. Maximum 3 marks. So they will not put too much notice into it. They will not put too much attention into it. So your school teacher might teach it in the end of the term, maybe nearing the PSLE, maybe in July. All right, but now at least you have an idea of what is this algebra. It's not that difficult after all. All right, the 3 marks you can secure one. Is that okay? Okay, so today, right, we are not going to do algebra. We are not going to do any conversion. We are going into something called fractions already. All right, and fractions, right, very important. There's this one theory about something called the remaining concept, which is very popular, very famous. You need to know this very well. Can? All right, so children, can I get you to take out your exercise book, right, whereby you can start to scribble some of the important notes, all right, for this, how to say, for this PowerPoint. Are you ready? All right, so this fraction, all right, you can go and turn to a fresh page, all right, go turn to a fresh page, all right, and you can call this fraction, all right. So today mainly, right, the topic is called fraction, of course. All right, so you can give a heading, fractions. All right, then you can call it total versus remainder. Right, so today we'll be talking a little bit about this. Very popular, and I believe some of you seen this so many times in your P5 already. All right, but some of you might not even fully understand what's happening. So let's talk about this. This is very important. Come. Okay, so total versus remainder. All right, when we talk about fractions. So there's a situation, sometimes you see this before. They say, what is the fraction of a total? Fraction of a total. Okay, we're going to look for some fraction of the total. Okay, what is the fraction of the total? For example, right? For example, this. All right. They say that inside a bag, all right, in a bag, all right, there's what? There are, for example, three colors of marbles. They are red, blue, purple marbles. All right. So in the bag, there are red, blue, purple marbles. And they specifically give you the clue. They say red is 2/5 of them. All right. Sometimes they will say that they will give you even more clue. They will say blue is 1/5 of total. So, children, sometimes, right, the teacher, right, may play with the words. So what is the meaning of them? This word them, right? This word them, right? So the 2/5 of them, right, is like the 2/5 of the what? Them, them means that the red, blue, and purple marbles all together. So this them actually represents the total. Do you know that? So sometimes they will use the word them, right? They will say that in the back there's like 30 marbles. 2/5 of them. All right. So usually when you see the word them, right, them means like the total what? The total red, blue, and purple together. So the them actually means the total. Sometimes they can be a little bit more straightforward. They say that blue is 1/5 of total. So this one is actually talking about the same total. So when the question, right, is talking about the total, right, it seems to be a little bit easier. All right. When the question start to talk about the total, it seems to be a little bit easier. All right. So you can actually do a comparison because there's a fraction in the center. Do you know that the 2 is actually for the front? All right. And the denominator, right, 5 is actually for the back, which is the them, the total in this case. All right. So usually when we compare two items, for example, blue and total, and there is a fraction in the center, all right, the numerator will always go to the front, and the denominator is actually representing the back. In this case, it's the total. Hey, Cher, this is good. What's so good about this? All right, because the total, right, the denominator both are 5. Good job. Right, so if the total, right, the denominator are both 5, right, if I draw a model, right, it will look something like that. All right, so the black color box, this black color, the whole thing, the black color, the whole thing, right, I purposely cut into 5 parts. And this whole thing, what? This whole thing black in color is called them or the total. This is called the total. Why do I cut into 5 parts? Because they say red is 2/5, right? And the 5 represents the total. Blue is 1/5. The 5 represents the total. So what can you do? You can help me do some shading. All right. So 2/5, right, means 2 out of 5, which means that 1, 2. These two are what? These two are red. All right. And 1/5. 1/5 is blue, which means that this is blue. Eh? So without moving further, right? Without moving further, you can actually come to a conclusion. What's the conclusion? The conclusion is down here. The remaining is purple lah. Because there are only 3 kind of colors inside, right? Red, blue, and purple. Can you see? So this one will be your purple, right? So you're able to conclude easily. All right. So obviously, if you look at it, right, what fraction of the total is purple? So sometimes they will ask you, what fraction of total is purple. Right. So what fraction of the total? So you're comparing the total.